Hello, ladies. Welcome. It was so much fun to live stream with you last week and talk about refreshing, detoxing your feminine energy. I really love that topic with you. And I got so many comments. Alexis, love the content, but the mic is still a bit hard to hear. I am so sorry. I got off the live stream and I was thinking, yay, the quality's so much better. I'm happy that the girls can hear me, but I guess it was not the best. So now I have a new mic. Let's see if it works. Hi, bestie. Hi, ladies. Ladies, can you hear me okay? No, it's not. I hear you fine. I always have. Thank you. Some people say there's literally no sound problem, and then other people are like, Alexis, I just cannot hear you with headphones in. So thank you so much, ladies. Welcome in. Sound is fine. Thank you, Anna. All right, ladies, welcome. I am so happy to have you with me today. We have a very important topic: how to end the good girl programming for good. We've talked about this a little bit on the channel before, but I have some new hidden and secret ways that the good girl mask still pops up that I want to bring to your attention and help you navigate through. So these are a few things that I've noticed in my own life, especially this past year, and they are still very much coming from the good girl programming, but no more. Why we want to let the good girl mask go is because it truly is a mask that is covering your beautiful, your divine feminine energy. So as long as there is this mask that is sitting over you, sitting over your essence, sitting over your true soul, your feminine energy is always going to be a bit dimmed. And what will happen is it will be harder to attract your desires. It will be harder to be authentic. And you might feel that I'm doing all this inner work, but I'm just not living my dream life yet. Why is it? It could be because you're still in that good girl programming and keeping these rules that are actually keeping you stuck. So by the end of this video, those rules are going to be gone. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for all of your live comments. I'll check in the chat in just a bit. All right, so why is it so difficult to take off? Number one, it's because the good girl mask, when we've lived with it for so long, we've been so used to receiving a reward for having it on. Usually that reward is either a physical reward, such as you get praise for literally being a good girl. You get things like student of the month, employee of the month, best kid, like best child, best family member, most well-behaved. But then there's also another reward system that's happening because of this programming, and it is an internal reward. It's you feeling like you are safe. And where that safety comes from is feeling like you can fit in and feeling like people will be able to hold space for you and recognize you and want to keep you around because you are living in a good way. So why this is dangerous is because if your body only feels safe by fitting in, how are you ever going to be authentic? How are you ever going to think outside the box? And how are you going to live so bold and so freely in a way that attracts your dream life? The dream life that you've created on your vision board, you can only have that by removing the mask and being your free self. It doesn't come from being student of the month, definitely doesn't come from being employee of the month, all my business owner girls. It comes from you deciding, no, maybe this served me growing up, but it doesn't serve me to play safe anymore. I don't need to fit in. It's just an unconscious belief and programming that I've had, no more. So we've talked about this before, but there's ways that it still shows up that I've caught. And I thought, whoa, I need to bring this to the girls because I cannot believe that this is still happening to me. Okay, a few ways, a few hidden signs that it's still showing up in your life. And then we're going to move into how to actually get rid of that mask. Number one, not getting the ick from disrespect. Why this is a sign that the good girl mask is still on is because when you do not get disgusted, when you do not get repulsed by bad behavior from disrespect from other people, what's happening is you are living in your head, not the body. The masculine versus the feminine energy. And so why this is the case is because when your body doesn't physically want to move away from what's disrespecting, it instead wants to fix the problem, make yourself seem good, manage their emotions. Well, now you're not in your body, you are actually in their head. This is not inside out. You are not in their control system. You are not the little character managing their emotions. That's going to be such a weird example unless you've seen the movie. So get out of their control system, get back inside your body. That is where the magic is. And so a lot of the times we are not getting the ick from disrespect because we are trying to please, we are trying to make sure that other people's, our emotions are okay. That is not your job. Your only job is to manage your own emotions and let other people have the confidence to do that themselves. And so when you are so in your body, you're so flowing in your feminine energy, you're not going to be worried, what are people thinking about me? How do I need to react now that they've disrespected? You just get the ick and you move accordingly. So one sign that I had, especially after doing a ton of inner work, is I noticed I wouldn't respond right away to disrespect. I would process it. And here's what I would do. And I know that we've talked about this. This is the one time I'm going to say, don't do this. You know how I would say, if someone disrespects you, just give them love and look at them like they are a little child that's just acting out from their own wound. Well, yes, that is true, but there is another side of it too. You move away and you give that person responsibility to still show up as an adult. Because when it's too much of the light feminine energy, like, oh, it's all peace and love, which yes, that is great, but it's not good for disrespect. Because when you still keep them in your life and you give too much understanding, that's actually going to hurt your little girl inside, and that's not respectful to you. Oh, okay. I think I'm getting a delivery. I'm so sorry, guys. I wrote on a sticky note, I was like, please do not ring doorbell in a meeting. Okay. Anyways, so when your body gets the ick from disrespect, when you feel like either a man that you're in a relationship with or a friend has done something that doesn't feel good for your body and you feel your body tighten up and you go, no, I don't see a relationship with this person anymore, that is a good sign that you have let the good girl mask go. Okay, what else? The easiest way to solve disrespect is to remove yourself. Personally, for me, as soon as I started my business 2 years ago, boundaries with disrespect became very, very strong, especially with friendships. For me, as soon as there is a woman in my life that I feel has disrespected me, the friendship is done. I do not see that door being open. Why I have such strong boundaries here is number one, because I have good friends who have taught me what respect looks like. And number two, I have a mission that is so strong, a vision that is so clear that I actually don't have time for the disrespect. Because how can I allow my little girl inside to be disrespected and then come to this channel, come and teach my courses, come and coach my clients when I feel out of integrity? Because I don't have that respect for myself. So what is your mission? What is your vision? Make it so strong that when you are disrespected, you get so repulsed, like, oh, this is so gross. I cannot deal with this behavior. This is not a match for me. This does not align with me or my business or my clients or my community that I'm creating. You have to be, if you are not getting the ick, if you still look at someone as, oh, they're just wounded, which yes, they are. But if you are not removing that person from your life, it could be a sign that there's still some good girl programming. Okay, let me check the chat real quick. Oh, Cece, so good to have you here, girl. You look amazing. Dark side, so sleek. Thank you, girl. First time catching you live. Shout out to my little sister for letting me know. Naomi, welcome, girl. That's so sweet of your sister. Hi, Sonali. I had a dream about you last night. Oh, I love that. That is so sweet. Welcome, welcome, ladies. Well, hello from Tokyo. I love it, girl. Hi. Yes. Okay. Now, let's see. That's also true for clients who do not show respect or don't pay. It doesn't work to be too nice. Definitely not. And this is such a great point that you bring up, Christina. Something that I actually used to struggle with. I was telling the girls in the Glow Print, it's my newest course to help you become a coach. So I was telling my girls in this program, I said, something that I honestly struggled with, ladies, is when I first became a coach and the hour session was up, it was so hard for me to say, all right, thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Sometimes the conversation would go on, and I would think, I have another client back to back. I've got to set the boundary and put that time block. The first thing that I did to really establish that boundary and make it so easy for me to set was say, actually, what am I teaching my clients by not having boundaries myself? Because the embodiment is actually the greatest teacher. It is a greater teacher than anything that I could actually say. So when I set that boundary, I'm letting my clients know that you are also allowed to set boundaries. You are also allowed to manage your time, and you are also allowed to speak up and have that self-respect. So this is such a hack to start setting boundaries and to give yourself respect is to say, I'm actually giving other people permission to set their own boundaries with me when I can set them with them. Yes. Yeah. I love all the business owners that we have. This is going to be so, so helpful. Oh, Monty, I'm in Venice and it reminds me of you. Venice is one of the most feminine cities, mysterious, beautiful, close to nature, full of secrets and art. Monty, that is my favorite comment that I have read in a long time. Thank you so much. And enjoy. That's actually on my travel bucket list. Okay. So, sign number 2 that the good girl mask is secretly still showing up is you are in a creative or you are in a life rut. So, we kind of talked about this in last week's video about refreshing and detoxing your feminine energy. If you feel that you are in a rut, watch that video next. It is going to be so helpful for you. So, why this is a sign that the good girl mask is actually still up. It might seem that they don't coordinate, but you'll see they totally go together. So when you feel unmotivated, when you feel, oh, I'm just in one of those periods where I don't have any creativity, I'm uninspired, I don't want to move, I just want to stay and watch Netflix all day. What's actually happening is your life force energy is off. Your sensual energy force is off. What is life force energy? It's just simply that beautiful, magnetic, juicy energy that flows through you. When your body gets turned on, this is your life force energy. What happens when your body is turned on? You create. Sometimes you bring life into this world. You can birth a human being. You can use that energy to start a business. You can pour it into your beauty, your health. It's so powerful. That's a whole other video in itself. So when this life force energy is off, think of it as you've turned off the light bulb in your body. Now it's just all dark. Well, when this happens, now there's no energy to create. And so what's actually happening is your body, and it's very, very comfortable, and it's not doing anything that is inspiring change, that is inspiring growth. Why does this happen? It happens because that good girl mask wants us to stay safe. She wants us to stay accepted. So what happens when your body feels good and you get so much inspiration, you're feeling turned on, and you go, I think I want to create a YouTube channel, or I think I want to start dating again. I think I want to put myself out there. Well, what happens when the good girl mask is on is she will go, nope, that's too scary. We are not a good girl if we are speaking our truth online. We're not a good girl if we are going and dating these men. So now your body gets turned off and you get stuck in this rut. And because that light bulb is off and all that beautiful, juicy energy is just stagnant, well, now what's happening is your body goes in a rut. And you feel so low, you feel so uninspired, and oh, why can't I chase my goals? And I said that I was going to wake up at 7 a.m. and why am I not doing it? You just got to turn your life force energy back on. But before you can do that, you have to take the good girl mask off. You have to give yourself permission that yes, it's safe to be authentically me. Yes, I get to speak my truth. Maybe I am going to be a villain in some people's stories. Maybe I am going to trigger and upset some people. Maybe if I date this person outside of my culture or outside of my race, my family will get upset with me. But you know what? This is what my heart craves. This is what my body says, go in this direction when I'm so full of that life force energy. When your life force energy is leading your life, you are okay. You don't have to worry about anything else. The only danger is when she's off and you are following with your programming and you're following with your head. When your body is doing all the work and directing every step, everything is taken care of. You are going to land right on target with your desire. You're going to end up exactly where you're supposed to be because your heart is leading you. So is that good girl mask on so much that she's keeping you in a place of safety, in a place of staying stuck, in a place of staying the same, that now all that energy that wants to move and create has become so slowed down that it's making you tired and feeling like you're in a rut? Could that be the case? Yes. I love it. Okay, great question about your acting career. We'll come back to this one at the end. Yep. Any questions about this point? Oh, I tried your beetroot juice. It was so refreshing. Thank you, Rhea. I'm so happy that you loved it, girl. I just made mine for the week this morning. Okay. Oh, thank you, girl. The queen of feminine energy. I love you, girl. The energy of alive is immaculate. Amanda, I agree. And with the trouble with the sound, I was thinking, oh, should I just record a video? But I really want to be with the girls today. So I'm so happy that this works out. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, such a challenge some days to get out of the programming, but I'm determined. I love that you brought this point up too, because there will be some days where it feels so hard to let that good girl mask go. And what I want to say is work with your body and work with your cycles, because when you are preparing to go into your menstrual phase, that week before your period, your body is going to be extra on guard, meaning that you are going to play it a bit more safe. I have this hormone app that is so brilliant, and it would always give these tips about how you will be spending less money today. You might be creating new budgets all of a sudden. You won't want to date this week. And why it's saying that is because the week before your period, your body is about to go into hibernation. So it's a bit more in that survival mode. The last thing on its mind is creating. Creating and being in survival are at opposite ends of the spectrum. So when you are about to go into that hibernation season and rest your body and have this renewing, the last thing that you want to do is be out there jumping off cliffs and going skydiving. Your body goes, no, let's stay safe. What is it that's comfortable and familiar? So definitely give yourself grace during these weeks, but also know that you can still play around with your hormones. Yes, I started posting YouTube videos not too long ago. Gabrielle, I love this for you, girl. Congratulations. Yes, my good girl mask wants a lot of overworking to prove that I'm not lazy. Yes, this was one of my biggest parts of inner work. And I was going to say this for a little bit later, but an example of how this recently happened for me is I decided about 2 weeks ago that I'm no longer working on Mondays. I told my assistant and I set it up in my coaching schedule. I said, I'm not working on Mondays anymore, because what I realized is I was thinking about how, God, thank you so much that this is my dream business, teaching about feminine energy and inner work and doing these courses, getting to show up on YouTube. And I was asking, what is one thing that I am doing that is not treating this like my dream business? And the answer that came was working on a Monday. I was like, why am I working on Mondays? Let me close my schedule this day. Let's play. Let's go and try new food. Let's go to the beach this day. And it was such an act of taking that good girl mask who wanted to go, no, but you're giving up a day of working and being productive, and going, that's okay. Old programming, you actually don't matter. Heart, what is it that you say to do? And my heart said, we don't want to work Mondays anymore. So I said, okay, let's do it. And it's been wonderful. But honestly, it was still a bit of a struggle in the beginning. I remember going out on a Monday and thinking, this is so weird. Like, I didn't bring my laptop with me. I just am here by myself at this restaurant, trying this food and then going shopping afterwards. It's definitely something that you have to spend time breaking out of. But once you spend that time, it's going to feel familiar, and then you're good to go. Then the mask is off for good. Yes, when I try to just be myself and let away the good girl mask, I feel a lot of guilt. How should I overcome this? And I love that you asked this, because just this morning I saw a comment on my recent Instagram post, and a woman was saying, Alexis, please make a video on releasing guilt and how to overcome this. For me, releasing guilt has been a lot of inner child work and talking to my parent, reparenting my inner child, talking to myself in a soothing way while I'm doing the action that I feel is guilty. So for example, I took a nap the other day. And okay, first of all, I was doing this 48-hour fast this week. was so difficult, but I woke up Monday morning and I felt God say, do a 2-day fast. I was like, okay, I'm not questioning it. I'm just going to do it. So I did a water fast. All I drank was water for 2 days, didn't eat any food. And it was very, very beautiful to get closer to God and to heal my body physically and mentally. But it was very hard. That second day, I was like, okay, I can barely even sit up right now. But that day I took a nap, and I'm not a nap person. I typically don't enjoy naps, but I was thinking, okay, is this a limiting belief that I have? Is it some programming that I have that says naps are bad? Naps are going to make you unproductive. So I let myself take a nap. And when I woke up, a little bit of guilt came up, like 2 hours. Imagine what you could have done. It's Tuesday. But what I did in that moment is I imagined my inner child was freaking out. And she was freaking out because most likely as a kid, anytime I was caught being lazy, I would get in trouble for it. And I was told, you need to be reading a book, you need to be doing your homework. So what I did is I looked at that little girl inside, like I literally imagined her freaking out and going, oh, we took this nap, and saying, good job. You just did something that was so scary, and that is okay. It sounds so simple, but that is what inner work is. It is simple actions done again and again that is actually changing your programming. So just talk to yourself in a simple and a calm way and watch your life change. Yeah. Thank you. This top, funny story about this top. I saw this dress on Pinterest, and this is so perfect for this video, actually. I saw this dress on Pinterest and I thought it was so cute. It goes all the way down to the floor. And I got it. And when I open it up and put it on, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's one of those. It's see-through. It is completely see-through. I feel like this is such a struggle that girls have. And so I was wearing it and I was like, how am I going to wear this out? And then I thought, you know what, I'll just get a slip to go under it. So that's what I wear underneath, and it works out great. But part of me was like, this is so inappropriate. You have to return it. But I'm like, no, good girl mask, go away. We can make this work. It'll just be a bit more scandalous. Yes. Ah, thank you so much, ladies. How to be carefree and let go. My best tip for this is do something that feels scary in front of strangers. So, for example, let's say that your good girl mask is always making you feel like you have to be polite in conversations and making you feel like you have to make other people feel good. And this comes to mind because this was one that I really had to work on. What you can do is practice this with strangers. So how I actually did this is with taxi drivers. Whenever I was in a taxi, whenever I was in an Uber and I didn't want to engage in a conversation, I would tell the driver, I was literally shaking, but I would tell the driver, I'm not in the mood to talk right now, or I'm going to take some alone time back here, rather than how's your family and what do you do? How long have you lived here? The small talk is so draining, especially if you're more on the introverted side. Small talk is so draining for you. And so you can practice setting these boundaries with people who you are never going to see again, because in a way it's tricking your mind to go, we can do this with less risk. We're not going to get in trouble because these people don't know us. They can't punish us. They're just strangers. So almost trick your mind and use the stranger to do it. That's why I always say, whatever identity you want to create, go and start being that identity in a grocery store. Because you don't know those people. Do in a grocery store on the other side of town. You don't know those people. And let's say that you want to be more seductive, more mysterious. Your body will feel safer to do that when you are in an environment that is not familiar. Familiar environments, it's a bit harder to change. It's like trying to all of a sudden become a seductive siren in front of your mom. Like your mom knows you. If you've always been the nice girl, the good girl, she's going to go, are you acting right now? Let yourself act in front of strangers until it becomes your identity. Then once it's your identity, bring it closer to your inner circle. Speaking of acting, let me go back to your question about acting. My acting career is my business and mission. I love this. We just have such a beautiful diversity in this Glow Girl community. So there is still reliance on co-creation with producers, directors who hire me, etc. Any tips on staying in my power and feeling in with the flow of this? Thank you so much, girl, for the super chat, by the way. Yes, so staying in your power and feeling in the flow of this. The first thing that comes to my mind is be open, have an open heart and an open mind. Because the people that you are co-creating with, they might suggest something that your body goes, this doesn't align with us. I don't like this. But when your heart and your mind is open, you'll go, let's try it. Why not? And usually what ends up happening is it becomes even better than you expected. So number one, keep an open heart and an open mind. And I would say number two, staying in your power. To me, power is connected to your life force energy again, your sensual energy, your dark feminine energy, your authenticity. When you are so turned on with your authenticity and who you are, and that charge that brings you to life is just flowing through your body, flowing through your energy, you are going to be magnetic. So what can happen? Let's say that you are on set and you are co-creating with the directors, the producers. When your life force energy is off, you will notice that the producers and directors will be less open to suggestion. Why? It's because you're speaking to them man to man, logic to logic. An example of this on the flip side, think about Marilyn Monroe. Her life force energy was on when she was acting, so much so that the producer had to ask her, are you thinking about you know what during the scene? Even a scene that was not intimate, not sexy at all, they would ask, are you thinking about you know what during the scene? And she would go, no, I don't know what you mean. Because that life force energy was just flowing through her. She was so charged with it. People could feel it radiating off her, and it made them so suggestible to what she was bringing to the table. So for certain scenes, she was actually the one leading it and directing it because her life force energy was so strong that the producers and directors go, let's just let her lead. This feels so good to watch her do. This feels so good to see her creating and see her taking charge here with her energy. The way that she's showing up, the way that she's maybe changing the script, the way that she is maybe dressed, let's just let her do her thing because look at how magnetic she is. People are always going to be more attracted to magnetism versus the script. So I would definitely keep that in mind. I'm feeling like this needs to be a whole video in itself. And I'm so happy that you asked this question because to me, power as a woman is not something that's physical. It's something that's energetic. Have so much power. That is literally why I started creating these YouTube videos to help you activate that power, to help you turn it on. Because for most people, it's just turned off. Simply turned off because either you're wearing the good girl mask and it's so heavy now your power is out, or you just have never learned to turn it on. Maybe you've never had a healthy example. Maybe you've never had permission. Maybe you have turned it on in the past and been wounded and are still carrying that wound around. So everything that we talk about is to help you take that power back. Yep. Yes. Ever since starting inner work, I have grown so much, but I've also realized all of the trauma that I never allowed myself the time or permission to process. How can I avoid getting overwhelmed? Yes, that overwhelming feeling when doing inner work is so real. Okay, here's what I'll tell you, girl. Know that if you needed to heal it right now, it would have already been healed. Take it one step at a time. That's truly all that you can do. It's almost like I always think of this when doing my laundry. When I take my laundry, okay, first of all, I don't know how I have this much laundry in a week. Like, if you guys could see the clothes that I have to wash, it's ridiculous. When I take all those clothes, I usually wash my clothes today on Friday and I pour them on my bed after they've been cleaned. I look at that huge pile that I have to fold and put away, and I think, oh my gosh, this is so much. Let me put on a podcast right now. Well, what I used to do is think, this is too much. I'm just going to do it later. Well, what I actually started telling myself is every time I pick up a t-shirt, pick up a dress, pick up a sweater, and I fold it and put it away, that's one less thing that I have to put away later. Same thing with your inner work. Every time you take a wound and you look at it and you hold it and you give yourself that love, you give yourself the healing that you need, one less wound to heal later. So just do it one at a time and it's going to get done. Every time I'm putting away a piece of clothing, I'm like, you know what? I'm just getting stuff done. I'm speeding up time right now. And so with healing too, remember that you are already healed, you are already whole and complete. Every single person still has unhealed wounds. Every single person. So you do not need to be completely whole to exist. You can just exist. Give yourself permission to live your life to the fullest, even without the unhealed wounds. There are life events that I am going to go through later on in my life that are probably going to wound me. Not probably, they are going to wound me, and I'm going to have to heal through them. Maybe it is endings of relationships, maybe there is family pain. There's going to be some sort of pain that I'm going to go through that's going to cause a new wound. So rather than trying to stay woundless, I'm just going to work on the wounds as I feel led to. And know that I still get to live my best life with the wound. I feel like without the mask, I'm coming off as rude. How to balance that? When you are setting a boundary and when you are speaking up, do it from a place of love and with integrity. So, for example, when I'm setting boundaries with my clients, when we've been coaching through the 1 hour session and time is up, I don't say, time's up, let's go, let's go. I can't imagine saying that. I say, thank you so much for coming today. I've loved our session and I'll see you next week. I do it from a place of love and care because just because I'm setting a boundary doesn't mean that I am being rude to them. It doesn't mean that I'm hurting them. It means that I'm saying this is where our agreement ends and this is where now you can begin. This is where I can begin the next step. And so just do it from a place of love. Setting boundaries, you do not have to be rude when you do it. You just have to be firm. I think there's a big difference between being assertive versus rude. Being assertive is what you get to do. There's actually something else that I wanted to say on this too. Yes. So this actually, I wanted to talk. Okay, this morning I had the video that I was going to do today. I was like, we're going to talk about disrespect, how to get the ick, but it just wasn't quite what my heart was saying when it actually came time to film. I wanted to talk more about the good girl mask. So here we are. I always listen to my heart. But there was something that had happened in my life where I needed to set a boundary with a woman who I had considered a friend. And so when it was time to set that boundary, it was very simple. I wasn't very angry with what had happened. I just decided, you know what? This is not a person that I want to keep in my life anymore. When people show you who they are, believe them and then set that boundary. For me, the boundary 99% of the time is you are not going to have any more time or space of mine. You are gone. So I'm not available to be in a friendship anymore when that boundary is broken. So the struggle is feeling like, is that rude? You know, what if they just didn't know better? They're still healing. They're still doing inner work. Should I give them space? And for me, it's very hard when people show emotions when I set a boundary because I want to just go, oh, it's okay. Like it's going to be fine. But my mom said something to me one day that really changed my life. There was a woman that I needed to set a boundary with, and I did. And when that boundary was set, she started crying. I was telling my mom, I said, I just feel so much love for her still. And I feel so sad that this has to end, but I'm not available for the friendship anymore. And my mom looked at me and she goes, the tears are not for you, Alexis. They are for herself. And I thought, wow, that is so healing because the good girl side of me wanted to go, no, it's okay, and wipe the tears and go, let's just be friends again. But the truth is, when someone is showing emotion, most of the time it's not for you. It is for themselves because they chose to do the action that went against your boundary, and now they're paying the consequences by not having access to you anymore. So a way that you can be assertive and be kind still is know that the tears are not for you. Know that the emotion is not for you. It is for themselves. If you are somebody who is more empathetic and your heart is very, very open, when people show emotions, just remember this. Most of the time, it's not for you. That can help you tap into that dark feminine energy. Yes. I'm moving to Dubai. Okay, I love this. Dubai is beautiful. It just, every single person that I've met here and I ask, why did you move here? Well, most of the time it's for work, but The other time, it's people saying, when I came to visit, I just didn't want to leave. That is exactly what happened for me. I came here last October and I was like, this is it. Life is too short. I'm moving here. And it happened. Thank you, Catherine. Hi, Queen. So glad to catch you live. You look radiant today. Thank you so much, girl. How do you deal with FOMO from social media? I don't remember the last time I had FOMO. It was probably in college. For me personally, the key to not having FOMO is having your dream life, having the life that you love so much that seeing something else happening for someone that is so exciting, you're able to hold that excitement for them, but not wish that it was different. I remember that somebody had asked me recently, they were like, Alexis, how can you still be happy when you're not married yet? I was like, what? That is such a strange question to me because life is so good already. Every friendship, every relationship, every dollar that I receive, those are all cherries on top. My life is so good as it is. Everything else is just a bonus. And so nothing can change my internal state of happiness. No relationship, no physical thing, even separating my business and this channel from my happiness, that has been very hard to do, but I've had to do it because otherwise my confidence would come from success. My confidence would come from my business. I don't want my confidence to come from that. I want my confidence to come from God and from within. So when I've learned to be so happy on my own, happy with the foods that I cook and taking care of my body and every day waking up and choosing to be disciplined and to invest in myself and to create. When I follow my heart and choose my best life daily, that makes everything else just seem like a bonus. So I don't crave to have relationships that I don't currently have. I don't crave to go to events that I don't currently or that I'm not currently attending because I love the life that I'm living right now. Creating a life that you love, it is the key to everything. It's the key to even setting boundaries because when you love your life so much, you protect it. When friends come along that disrespect you, you go, absolutely not. I don't have time for this. This life is too good to allow anything in that is not going to align with it. It's very easy to get FOMO on social media in today's culture because we are exposed to so much. I want you to know that what you are exposed to on social media, it is not normal. Our brains have not evolved to catch up to it yet. Feedback that you get as a content creator, it's not normal to see all those comments daily. The amount of experiences that you can live out through other people, our brains are not meant to see all of that. So now we have all of this comparison and we have this whole world that's open to us that our brain is going, whoa, this is so stimulating. We're not used to seeing all these options. So it can make our brain feel like we need to have those options too. But actually, that's not realistic. So create a life that you love and you won't ever want to leave it and you won't get FOMO. Yeah. Okay. There's so many good questions, but I also want to move to the next point. How do you have people not hate you who are supposed to be your friends, I wonder? Uh, Friends are not envious of you. Acquaintances are. That is my rule of thumb. As soon as I can sense envy and jealousy from a friend, she is gone. All of my best friends, my close girls, I consider them like my sisters. I need to have them on here for a video. I love and trust them so much. None of them have ever given me any signs of envy or jealousy. Why? It's because the qualities that I look for in my female friends, number one, do they know their purpose in life? Are they creating a mission? Are they creating a vision that serves them and serves their dream? Because if you don't know your purpose, you're going to try to be looking for your purpose in someone or something else. And you're going to be all over the place. Every single one of my friends are entrepreneurs. Now that I think about it, I have 5 close girlfriends. Every single one of them are either starting their business or have a business already. And number 2, the quality that I look for in my female friends, are they happy with themselves? Do they genuinely love themselves? When a woman loves herself, she's not going to hate another woman. She doesn't have room for it. She's so full of love that hating another woman, it just wouldn't be a part of her consciousness. Similar to how happy and confident people, you will not see them talking negatively about other people. Think about someone that you really look up to, someone that is just living the life that you want, that is so in their mission and in their power. Then imagine them gossiping or talking bad about someone else. It would give you the ick. You would lose so much respect for that person. Happy and confident people are at such a high vibration that it's not even in their vocabulary to talk negatively about somebody else. And so if you can catch these things in other people, then you can start to be aware of who you should have as friends and who you should not. I have, I think, 2 videos on this channel. If you type awwlexis female friendships, where I talk about qualities of women to look for. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's so many good questions. Okay, let's move to the next part, ladies. I definitely always talk and then it's 1 hour and I'm like, whoa, where did the time go? Okay. Here is another way that you can tell if you are wearing the good girl mask and not living from that beautiful life force feminine energy. Energy is not moving towards you. What do I mean by this? Is your desires, people, relationships, and opportunities are not moving towards you. When your energy is so high, if you just think about the times when your energy was so high, when you were feeling so good, you were out of that rut, you were just in your feminine energy flow, what happens? You attract so many people. You might get more messages from people all of a sudden. You might go for a walk and men are chasing after you, asking for your phone number. Notice how when you feel so good, you don't see these people, but they just come out of nowhere and they try to talk to you. It is because other people can feel your energy so much. Opportunities fall into your lap when you're not clinging onto them, but you've let go and you're just flowing. Your best ideas come to you when you are feeling happy, when you are playing, when you are relaxed. And so I had this happen actually last Friday. It was so funny. There was, so do you ladies remember how the outfit that I was wearing this flower in my hair, right? The flower was pretty big. It's not something normal that you see people wearing in their hair every day. But what did I tell you I was going to do after we filmed that live stream? Go for a walk. So I was going for a walk and I was wearing that flower in my hair. And this is also symbolizing something that you can do to get out of that good girl programming is wear something, give yourself an expression of yourself that is not normal. That's a bit more on the bold side. So last week for me, I was wearing that flower in my hair. So I was wearing it in my hair and I noticed a lot of people staring and smiling and it felt a bit uncomfortable. I was like, should I take this out? Is it too much? But I thought, no, I love this. It feels so good. I'm not. I got in the elevator of my apartment building and I ran into a guy. We were both in the elevator and he looks at me, he looks at the flower and he looks back at me and he goes, "You seem like you're trouble." I was like, oh my gosh. And then we were flirting a bit. He was so handsome. It was so fun, honestly. But the reason that that happened is because the good girl mask was off. I was wearing something that was a bit more bold, a bit more adventurous. I was just so full of happiness and peace within myself that now energy started moving towards me. Men start moving towards you, opportunities start moving towards you, people chase you because you are so magnetically attractive. You can only enter that magnetism mode when that good girl mask is off. Otherwise, it's literally covering your magnetism. It's underneath, but people can't see it because the good girl mask is on. If my good girl mask was on last week, I would have taken the flower out of my hair before I went for the walk. But I said, no, I love wearing this. Why would I change myself so that other people don't think that I'm bold? I'm not going to do that. So wear things, say things, create things that are bold, that are creative, that are expressive, that are unique. And a hidden sign that you are not in this mode is people are not moving towards you. Opportunities are not moving towards you. Yeah. That is cute. Yeah, it was so cute. And it was such a funny, but like awkward moment, I stepped out of the elevator and he was like, "Can I get your phone number?" The elevator was closing. I was like, what do we do? That would have never happened if that flower wasn't there. So it's almost like I took the good girl mask off and exchanged it for something else. Maybe that's something that you can do. Exchange it for something else. And maybe it's a flower for you. Maybe it is jewelry that you put on and you go, when I wear this, my good girl mask is off. And I'm just so bold and confident. It can be like a symbol that can help you. Yes. Okay, I will also say this. Being a good girl, what it means is dimming down your true authentic self to appease others. It doesn't mean that you're not kind anymore or not generous or not not in integrity. Being a good woman still involves being kind and being in integrity. But the good girl mask, I call it a mask because it's not you. It's like covering up a side of you. I should have said nice girl mask instead of good girl. Yes, sometimes I'll tell my friends stories of just running into men here or the dating life here, and they're like, we need to move to Dubai. There is, I think it's because the masculine energy here is very, very strong, but also the ratio of men to women here. One of my friends told me it's 3-1. For every woman, there are 3 men that live here. So they're very much in their hunting, their competition energy. And when you're so magnetically free, that just, it draws in so many people. So if you are having like a rough patch in your dating life, move to Dubai. Yes. I feel like I need to change location and move somewhere better. The thing is, too, I've said that when I used to live in Las Vegas. I used to say, oh, there's no good men here when I was young. But then when I started doing inner work, they started showing up. And so the problem wasn't the area that I was living in, it was the energy that I was attracting. There are good men everywhere, every city. I have a lot of clients and a lot of students who have said, all the men in my culture, in my hometown, want to do 50-50. And I will always say, not all of them. Have you decided that you are going to be in a relationship with a man that is providing? So sometimes we have a limiting belief that is literally closing our eyes and our ears to only see one reality. I'm going to tell this story real quick because it's so powerful about limiting beliefs. I had this client once who was using a dating app, and she would tell me, she goes, Alexis, so we were making up her list for qualities in her dream man. And at the top of her list, she said, I want someone who is so tall. I want a man who is over 6 feet tall. And I said, okay, I love this for you, girl. Tell me more, tell me more. And she goes, no, Alexis, this one is like the most important. I just need a tall man. That's always been my deepest desire. And on the dating apps that she was using, she goes, it's just so frustrating because all of the men in my area are so short. And I said, okay, this is funny. In my head, I knew she's just not seeing the tall ones, but they're on there. So we were working through our session. And at the end of the session, I said, okay, I want you to get rid of the limiting belief that you are only available for short men. She's like, I don't have that limiting belief. My desire is I want a tall man. And I said, you do have a limiting belief. You might not just be able to see it. And so when she sat and she held that limiting belief in her body, and she limiting beliefs that I have that I'm only available for short men, I release it. And she kept affirming to herself, I'm only available for tall men. Tall men are everywhere. I told her, okay, go back on the dating app a bit later and then tell me what you see in our next session. Not even a week later, the next day, she messages me, Alexis, you will never guess what happened. I'm like, let me guess. You're seeing them now. She goes, I think that they were always here. I was just skipping over them on the dating app. And I said, yes. Now, what other areas of your life is this happening? Because of a limiting belief, because of a reality that you've decided you're only worthy of this. How many times do we do this where there are profiles of tall men, 6'3", 6'5", but we skip over them, not even seeing. Our brain will actually block it out because we have decided we are not available for this. Our brain can only see what we have decided, what we have believed, or what we believe is true. So if you do not believe that there are tall men, healthy masculine men, provider men, good quality men in your city, you are not going to see them. They are going to walk right next to you and your eyes will go, not available. You have to decide that you are available for it. Yeah. Good morning from America, LOL. I love it. Oh my gosh, girl, it is early for you. Good morning. Oh, I'm a 35-year-old mom of 4. Your videos have helped me so much. I feel like God led me to your channel at the perfect time in my life. Asia, thank you so much, girl. And 4 kids. That is so wonderful. Your kids are so lucky to have a mom doing inner work. Good evening from Sydney. Hi, Zari. So good to see you, girl. Okay. I'm getting my money up so my husband can find me there. I love that. You ladies are the best. I love that. Yep. Go where you want other people to be. I always would say this with relationships. If you want your man to level up, you level up first and wait for him to catch up. He's either going to fall away or catch up. So that's where we lead a bit more as a woman, is we decide and then wait for people to show up. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to beg them. You don't have to teach them. You just show up and be the blueprint. Yes. Hi, ladies. Okay, next point. This one is a bit shorter. Actually, before we move on to this one more quick, a bit off topic note. I have talked about this a bit before on YouTube. I want to make a whole video on it. I just haven't done it yet. But my girls who are at the Dubai retreat and my girls who are in the Seductively Savage course, when we have talked about feminine adornment, this is why it's so important. So feminine adornment, a bit about it, is when you give yourself so much extra beauty, accessorize, add luxury, add a bit more play with your physical appearance, it's actually doing something to your energy and it's doing something to your reality. What's happening is when you are giving yourself that extra accessory of feminine energy, you are actually boosting the feminine energy that is inside. You know how I said replace the good girl mask with the flower in your hair? Well, what happens now is when you're wearing that flower, your body is going, okay, we have this physical object that is helping a bit to turn up our feminine energy. So anything that's adding adornment to you is going to be very beneficial for your feminine energy. I really love things like hoop earrings. I love things like flowers in the hair. I love things like a bold lip color. Anything where you can add adornment that will boost your feminine energy, do it. It will almost trick your brain to feel like we're already there. We're already there at the max level of feminine energy, and then your brain will catch up and it will feel like your programming. It will become your programming. I love when you say that a guy is not your man unless he marries you. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, now that next point that we're going to talk about. If you feel that there is a lump in your throat, so you know when you cry and you can feel a bit of pain here. Well, there's been times when you haven't spoken up in the past or times that you're not speaking up now that has caused a physical bundle of energy to get stuck here. And that is why it's very hard to speak your truth. That's why it can be very hard if you're a content creator to create that bold, really magnetic content that pulls people in. So here's what I want to remind you. A common trap that keeps a good girl mask on is not speaking your truth. When your heart is saying, we want to speak up here, we want to share our truth, we want to set a boundary, we want to tell someone, no, I'm not available for this. This doesn't work for me. And you don't do it. It's adding energy to that bundle that is already trapped here. Easy ways that you can release it: screaming into a pillow, starting to set boundaries, starting to speak up, and doing things like visualizing that energy and then visualizing what your body would feel like without it. Feel that clearing. Imagine that it's clearing out of your throat. I love so much when we talk about this because there's always a comment where someone goes, Alexis, I had no idea why I had that lump in my throat. I didn't know that it was from not speaking up. And the solution is so easy. Clear out the trapped energy from not speaking up and then start speaking up. 2 steps. That was such a huge incentive for me when I realized, wait a second, I'm going to have this trapped energy in my throat. I'm going to feel this lump. I'm not going to be able to speak my truth if I don't start setting boundaries. So even though it was so scary for me to start setting boundaries at first, the fear of having that trap in my throat for good and not being able to speak up in my business or with my community, that actually scared me more than setting the boundary. So that's how you can get over the fear. Realize, actually, it scares me more. And another side of this, my girls who are into holistic health, you will love this one. What happens when there's trapped emotion anywhere in the body? It becomes a sickness. What is one of the most common sicknesses that we have today? Thyroid health issues. I have a theory that thyroid health issues come from not speaking up because it's trapped energy that has gotten stuck here, stagnant energy, stagnant fluid now, and it's causing a sickness in the body. There's a book that I love, love, love. It's called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And she connects all of the physical symptoms and health-related issues to correlations of things that we do in life that cause those issues. So for example, one that was so mind-blowing for me is people who have pain in their hands. I actually used to know this man who had a lot of pain in his hands, and he would always tell me, he would always say, my hands hurt so bad, they just feel really tight, really sore. And when I was reading this book, what Louise Hay says is that tightness and pain in the hands comes from holding on too tightly to people and to opportunities in life. I was mind blown because instantly all the dots connected for me. And I realized this man has so much pain because he's holding on too tightly to this person. So it was definitely a wake-up call. That is why it's so important too to have a partner who's doing inner work, because if your husband, if your boyfriend is not doing inner work, all of these things that are inner work related, like holding on to people too tight or not speaking his truth or setting boundaries, they're causing physical sicknesses in him. What is that going to do to his body? What is that going to do to your guys' marriage, to his lifespan later down the line? So it's so much more than just having a partner with a growth mindset. It's making sure that you have a partner for life, not just for the next 5-10 years. Yes. Oh, I had that experience. And when I first stood up for myself, I was so afraid and tears were coming up. But afterwards, I was so proud of myself and felt powerful. Isn't that the best thing? That, yes, I did that. I'm so proud of you, girl. That is awesome. And guess what? Every single time gets easier and easier. That is how you build confidence around setting boundaries. You do it again and again, where now it's your programming. I'm so proud of you, girl. Yes. I go and scream my heart out in karaoke. At first, my voice didn't come up, but now I am on fire. Girl, I love that. I've never heard anyone say that about karaoke being healing. That is so beautiful. Oh, Alexis, you have helped change my life. God always directs me to you, and your messages are always on point. Thank you so much, girl. I really appreciate that. Ah, yes. So speaking up about things that upset you to people who might blame you or won't understand. Yes. Here's my thing with disrespect. I had said this in a video a while ago, and a lot of people were triggered, but I still stand by this. The way that you, as the feminine energy goddess, sets boundaries is not always verbal. Most of the time, it's energetical. What it looks like is moving your body away from that person or from that experience. So, for example, when somebody says something that upsets you, sometimes walking away is more powerful than saying, what you just said upset me. there was a lot of people saying, no, you're saying that you shouldn't speak your truth and that you shouldn't stand up for yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's more powerful for you to just walk away. Because why does that person deserve an explanation? And the thing is, too, if they disrespected you in the first place, they're not going to be able to hear your explanation for it. Their mind is so set on their own reality that that was okay to do, that you explaining your version of your reality isn't going to click with them. It's a waste of breath. I would go and use that energy instead to go and create a business rather than explain it to them. But also, there are times that you do explain it. Just trust your body. Ah, yes. My voice literally changes when I speak my truth. Matilde, that is powerful, girl. It's so funny because when I moved here to Dubai, so many comments, at least one person says this every video, Alexis, your voice has changed. Alexis, you seem more grounded and more calm. When I came here to Dubai, because it was such a new environment, I said, I'm just going to start speaking my truth so much more in depth than I did when I was living in America. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because this almost doesn't feel real being here. Like right now, looking at the water outside my window, I've always wanted to live near the water, always wanted to live near the ocean. Seeing it, it still doesn't feel quite real. So I think if this isn't real, then let me just be myself. Let me just speak my truth and say whatever's on my heart. And so your voice literally changes. I get comments all the time, Alexis, you sound different. The environment has changed. The reality has changed. Ah, girl, you're the daily reminder I need to not settle. I love that for you. Those messages make my day. I get messages like, Alexis, I was going to not speak up here. I was going to dress differently, but I could feel that you were in my ear saying, girl, don't do that. Yes, I love it. Okay. Oh, I love the coaching from my students in here to each other. Hi, Kalei. Hi, Zari. Zari, stop lowering your prices. Pick the price that feels good for you and never lower, only raise. Kalei, genius girl. We just talked about this in the glow print on Saturday last week. And I was saying, never ever lower your prices. You either stay the same or go up. We had a session about the energetics of money. It was my favorite session that we've had this whole course. And there's so much inner work around money that I had to learn. And yeah, one thing that I've learned, because why would you take a step backwards? Your consciousness hasn't taken a step backwards. Your knowledge and wisdom, your life experience hasn't taken a step backwards. So why would you? Oh, thank you, girl. Lots of love from the Philippines, my friends, and I love you. Thank you so much, girl. I hope to visit the Philippines very soon. Ooh, putting on a bold red lip today. I love this. Have so much fun with that, girl. And be ready for a man to come and say, oh, you seem like you're going to be trouble. Yep. If that man said that to me 4 years ago, I would have been like, oh my gosh, what do I say? It's so bad. He thinks I'm going to be trouble. But now I'm like, what I responded to him in the elevator actually was, you'll have to wait and see. And then gave him my number. Okay. Matilde, did you feel nervous on your first private coaching call? Yes, I told the girls in the glow print how nervous I was, but then also what I did to work through that. It's very real to be nervous. You will be nervous your first time doing anything because it's so new for the brain. You're literally creating new neural pathways. So your body is not going to feel safe. It doesn't have a road of safety just yet. But I've taught myself that playing it safe is my, or not playing it safe is my safety. Taking risks is my safety. For example, moving here to Dubai was a bold move. It was not playing it safe. It was moving to a whole new country and culture and saying bye to my best friends and my family. But because I've done decisions like quitting my job and starting my business, to me, that represented safety for me more than staying comfortable with the paycheck to paycheck, having a boss job did. Even though on paper, it might seem like having a job, staying in your hometown is safe, for me, that's not safe because I feel stuck. And being stuck, living with regret, that is not safety to me. Safety to me is taking risk and being proud of myself for getting out of my comfort zone. It's taking risk and creating a new life and creating a new experience and being open to failure. Failure to me equals safety. I feel I'm playing it so safe when I am failing now because I am growing and because I am expanding. If I'm not growing, if I'm staying the same, that scares me. That's like an alarm bell going off saying, ding, 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 something is wrong. You are the exact same that you were a year ago. So you should feel a bit nervous. It's good. Safety, redefine your definition of it. For me, safety is open to failure, taking risks, trying something new. With your courses, would I be able to learn how to coach? Yes, absolutely, girl. For that question, I would recommend the Glow Print if you want to be a coach. I do have my other program, Divine and Aligned, for how to create your dream business. That's for all layers of running a business, whether it's selling a physical product, whether it is creating a coaching business, whether it is being a consultant, an accountant, anything that you want on how to work for yourself, that's what Divine and Aligned is for. But the Glow Print is in depth, how to set up, how to run, how to bring your coaching business to life. So far what we've talked about is the energetics of money. We've talked about boundaries in your coaching business. I've given the girls lots of resources and blueprints for legal documents, how to set up their website, how to attract clients, how to give themselves permission to be authentic and speak their truth. So it's so fun. It's currently the only course that I have that's happening live. Okay. I'm on the fence about doing a few months solo trip to the sea. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, you should do it. And if you want documented, I feel like all of us Glow Girls would love to see it. Yes, safety is knowing that you can conquer every situation and be fine. I love that. And it's so true because if I'm with myself, I am safe. Why? Because God is my father and he is my protector. So anywhere I go, I am safe, even if it seems like I'm not. I was so scared moving here, but it was such a good fear. It was a bit scary for me to learn the new culture and to have a bit of a language barrier, to just not have my comfort, not have anyone really that I knew out here. But I knew that I was never alone because I have God, and I have not being here in Dubai. So taking risks, that is true safety. Okay. Let's see. Alexis, you motivated me to start my own podcast. Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. I'm so proud of you, girl. So many wonderful women have been creating their YouTube channels, their podcasts lately. I'm so proud. Okay. Now let's go to ways to break out. We've already talked about a few, but we're going to go over a few more before we wrap up for today. Okay, so how to break out of that good girl mask, how to break out of that programming. Number one, question your choices often and question your rules. So remember how I was talking about taking a nap the other day? How I thought, I don't know, can I take a nap? This is so weird to do. I actually had to sit there and question, why is it bad to take a nap? Who taught you that it's bad? Why is it something that you believe is going to negatively affect you? I questioned that belief. The other one was working on Mondays. I've always wanted to not work on Mondays, but I only recently took that day off. And I had to sit and question, Alexis, why in the first place should you be working Mondays? Why is this a rule that you've created in your mind? Why do you feel that it's serving you? So you just question those rules. What's going to happen when you question your rules is you've jumped on the train and now you're moving towards the change. As soon as you can take an idea and question it, you're done. All the work is done because you're looking at that rule face to face, and now all of the wheels are turning in your brain to start going a new direction. When I was questioning, wait a second, why do I believe I have to work Mondays? This is my dream business. I can work any day I want. Once that happened, then, oh, I'm so sorry, guys, for the noise outside. Once that happened, my brain started working and going, okay, now let's tell your assistant that we're going to move our Monday meetings to Tuesday. Now let's go into the website settings and close the coaching calendar Mondays. My brain did the rest of the work because first I questioned the belief and said, is this still the rule that we want to live by? That is all that you have to do. You will just naturally know the next steps after that. A big block with inner work is we think we have to know every step. We have to know, okay, first let's question the rule, but then what do we do after that rule? What do we do when obstacles come up? Steps, and just focus on step number one and just sit in that space, sit in that energy. Okay. Another one that I had was looking at the prices. So this is more on the energetics of money, looking on the prices of food before ordering. So this is something that I noticed that I did, and I was listening to a lot of multimillionaires speak, and a theme that I noticed is they said, I get big when I would go to restaurants and not look at the prices of food before I would order, especially the market fish. I look at the food and then say, okay, is this what my body is craving today? Is this going to be delicious? Am I going to feel satisfied afterwards? Rather than, okay, let's look at the price and let's see if this fits in my rules of what I'm allowed to spend on myself. No, I am worthy of investing in. And my rule that I can only spend a certain amount of money, this doesn't feel good anymore. Change the rule. So what rules do you have around money, around relationships that now you get to question? It is a bit scary to question it, but that is a good thing. Yes, having a business, but it's stuck at a certain level, I would highly recommend Divine and Aligned. That is my ultimate program for your dream business. How to take having no business and creating your dream business, or how to take a business that you already have but bring it to life. You have to activate your life force energy to do it. You have to understand the energetics of money. You have to understand how to activate your dark feminine energy. There's so many layers in that program. Yep. Oh, I love this. Okay. Yes, this live will be saved. Okay, so question your choices, question your rules. I had a live stream a long time ago called Rule Breakers Are the Queens. That's another one that I highly recommend going in the description, actually. Rule Breakers Are the Queens. Your haircut is making you glow and flourish. Oh, Savannah, thank you so much, girl. That is so sweet. Alexis, you are my role model when it comes to beauty and wellness. I love how your eyes glow and feel excited in every moment. I want to be like this someday. Thank you so much, girl. You were so sweet for that. I really, really appreciate that. I feel like the closer I get to God, the more I feel that glow. And fasting this week really, really helped me get closer to God. Because when I wasn't relying on my comfort, on my meals, and I felt weak, I went to God. I was like, God, please give me this strength. And I felt so much peace with Him. Okay. Next tip. Okay, practice with strangers. We already talked about this. Watch women that you admire and let your mirror neurons go to work. So if you need a woman who is just so assertive, so in her power, so good girl mask completely off, like hasn't ever been on in her whole life, you need to watch the show Dynasty, the new one. I know that there's an old version and a newer version. The newer version it's Jade from Victorious, if you ever watch Victorious. So my mom and I watched the show together a long time ago. And my mom was like, Alexis, the show is so good. You have to see it. I watched episode 1. I was like, I don't really like this. But then when I got introduced to Fallon, this main character that I'm talking about, I was so captured by her assertive, beautiful, badass energy that I was like, I'm watching the show just for her. And do you notice how people will say, whenever I watch a show, I start to become that character? What's actually happening on a scientific level is your mirror neurons are making you act like that person. What happens when we see another person face to face, when we watch another person, our mirror neurons are making us act like that person. It's a sign of human behavior that we do unconsciously. So when you're watching a show, that's why you have to be so careful too about what you listen to and who is in your circle, because you are going to become them. You are acting like them. You cannot help it. Your mind just does this. When you're watching a show, you will start to replicate that behavior. And so if you're feeling like, oh, I'm just too nice, like it's hard to set boundaries, please watch Fallon in Dynasty and you will be okay. She's just so, some of the things that she does, I don't agree with everything, but she's so powerful and just, she knows her worth. She knows her power. I highly recommend. You are the woman that we admire. Cool, thank you. That is so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Yes, Rihanna is the ultimate dark feminine for me. Love. Yes, she does have beautiful dark feminine energy. Okay. What else? Okay, so this is the last one. Praise your inner child when you are naughty. So what I mean by this is, you remember how earlier in the video we were talking about your inner child, how you reparent her, you speak to her. You're going to do that, but specifically when she's doing things that are naughty. So for example, when I took the nap and I woke up, I was like, whoa, I went to sleep at 2 p.m. Now it's 4 p.m. What I did is I imagined to my little girl inside that was freaking out, like, is this bad? Were we being lazy? My adult self, imagine I'm speaking to my little girl self saying, ooh, that was a bit naughty. We slept during the day and it feels out of the norm. Good job. It's almost like, you know how parents will play good cop, bad cop? You be the bad cop and praise the naughty side of your little girl when you are doing something that is not with the good girl mask, let's say. So let's say too that, okay, this is another small example, but it's very real to show how we do this, but it just slips by. Last weekend, I went to a movie with my girlfriend, and the movie was really late. It was after I taught the glow print course. That ends for me at like 8 p.m. And then we went to the movie around 9:30. So by the time the movie was done, it was almost midnight. And part of me was like, okay, we've got to get to bed. We're going to mess up our whole routine if we don't go to sleep at the same time every night. But then when I was sitting there with my friend and we were just talking and just relaxing on the Saturday night, I was speaking to my inner child, like, is it naughty? We're out past our bedtime schedule. It seems so silly to say, but there are ways that we are still being hard on ourselves and saying, ooh, this is not good. We're messing up. We're going against the rules. Our whole week is going to be thrown off. Remove all of that and just speak to yourself from the bad cop parent's perspective and say, that was naughty. We stayed out later than we usually do. We stayed out later than we wanted. But give yourself that freedom. You cannot always be in the routine. You cannot always be in the discipline. It is okay to have times where you let loose more and you're more free. So speak to your inner child and praise that naughty side of her. Yes. I love this, Grace. This is my confirmation to take naps. My body has been asking for it, but I keep on ignoring it. Yes. And I love how you said, my body keeps asking for it. Yep. Your body always knows. Yes. Oh, thank you, Kwani. How do you glow more than ever each video? I appreciate that so much, girl. I've been wearing a lot less makeup than I usually do. So I'm not wearing any foundation today. And whenever I do that, my skin feels extra moisturized and extra healthy. So that's been me letting my good girl mask go there, because I would always think for YouTube, I have to be super presentable and super formal and I have to wear lots of makeup. But I questioned that rule and said, why? My skin is begging to breathe. I just want to be more natural with the girls. I just want to go as myself and not wear heavy makeup. And here we are. That started from questioning the rule. That's all that you have to do. There are times when I love doing makeup. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it's such a beautiful expression of art and I really enjoy it. But recently I've been leaning more towards I don't want to wear a lot of makeup anymore. I just want brows, mascara, lip gloss, and we're good. Yep. What is that oil on your face? My natural skin oil. That is hilarious. Yeah, my skin's just always been oily, except for when I was breaking out a lot. Oh my gosh, my skin was all over, oily, dry, but thank you so much. The oil on my face is just skin. What I use, okay, I said, don't ring the doorbell, please. I'm not going to answer it. My good girl mask is freaking out. Let's see. I can't believe that I got you live. So good to have you, girl. Let's bring a natural look back. We will follow you. That is so sweet, girl. I feel like the natural look is really in. It's very, very trendy, especially in the US, to do natural makeup. And I notice whenever I feel more confident and more in my feminine energy, I want to add less to cover up. So lighter clothing, doing less to my hair, just letting my skin breathe. In real life, in our work, for real. My hand's trembling, try not to open the door. No, I'm kidding. I put a note that said, please don't ring the doorbell, so I'm not opening it. I love you. You inspire me a lot. Thank you so much, girl. Alexis, you're showing us exhibit A with the doorbell ringing. I love it. You remember my first few live streams in this apartment? The doorbell rang every video. It's because I was ordering like my air fryer and my blender and just getting everything settled. That is so funny. Yes. Yes. You know what I use for my skincare is I will use jojoba oil. The thing about jojoba oil is why I love it is because it's the only oil that actually matches. Here we go. It is the only oil that matches the sebum of your skin, that matches the natural texture of the oil in your skin. So it's not going to disrupt your skin barrier or just sit on top of your skin. It actually soaks in. Ooh, Alexis, do you have any content on fears about aging? I'm going to write this down because this really, really. I have a girlfriend. Her name is wonderful content creator. She talks a lot about divine feminine energy. And she did a video on YouTube about how to release the fear of aging. If you type Victoria Devall, Devall, fear of aging, see if that video is still on YouTube. But also, I'm going to write it down as a topic suggestion. Yeah, it's so sad, the society that we live in, how much there is a fear of aging. And it's hard to deal with when everything around you is how to look 10 years younger, eat this food for Botox like skin. There's so much that is constantly reinforcing you need to stay young, you need to stay young. My thing is, I will always have a youthful spirit. So I don't need to worry about preserving myself. Remember how I said I don't like to stay stuck? I don't like to stay the same. Staying the same for me is also staying the same with my current age. I am excited to grow. When I smile and I squint my eyes, when I see the wrinkles there, I'm like, yes, Alexis, you have expressed emotion. You have lived life. You have enjoyed the moment. When I go out in the sun, I soak up the sun and I think this feels so good on my body. I'm getting filled up with vitamin D. My mood is happy. I'm not worried about Is the sun going to give me age spots? I'm just thinking this feels so good to do right now. So if I have an age spot or I have a ton of freckles, when I see those, I'm like, Alexis, you've lived. This is what it means to be a human. Being a human doesn't mean your face is like this. It means that you've lived, that your face shows your memories, that your face shows your emotions and your expression. So yeah, it sucks how much there is that fear of aging, but there is a lot of inner work that you can do to let that go. Be excited to age and ask why you are scared to age. Is it a fear of death? Is it a fear of a partner not loving you anymore? There's always deeper roots there. For example, if you feel, oh, my partner's not going to find me attractive, you're with the wrong partner. You would never fear that if you were with the love of your life, because they would love you to the core. They're not loving your physical, they're loving your core, they're loving your essence. And so I'm definitely going to have to add this as a topic idea for the fear of aging. Ooh. Yes. Is jojoba oil? Yes, it's jojoba oil. I use it with my gua sha in the morning. It feels so good. And it's so good for lymphatic drainage and healing that stuck fluid that can often cause disease and sickness in the body. So I really love the gua sha routine. Let's see. You shined a light on a limiting belief I was entertaining of my prospective clients earlier. I wanted to express gratitude. Thank you. Girl, you are so welcome. I'm so happy to hear this. I love that even if they can hear you speaking, you refuse to open the door. They can definitely hear me. Yeah. Because how can I get on here and be like, honor your boundaries, girls, and be like, oop, let me cross my own? No. That's the best thing about being a business owner is you become so confident in yourself. You become so confident in your boundaries because your mission and your purpose is, if you're a good business owner, it's built on integrity. So every area of your life is also going to stay in integrity. Yeah. Let's see. Advice if you want to start YouTube. I would say your future self, the version of you that is 1 month, 6 months, 1 year in the future, is looking at you right now and saying, please start. I am begging you to start. Think about where we could be in life if you started today. My old version, so I started YouTube I've always had my YouTube channel, but my content switched and my audience grew when I actually started talking about what was aligned for me. You'll see my old videos barely have any views. And then when I started talking about feminine energy, it's like, bam, completely different. When that happened, I don't think I was scared to start YouTube. I was more scared to start TikTok. But the version of me that went to her boss the day that she quit her job 2 years ago and said, I am done with this job. Thank you so much, and started the business. She would have looked at the version of me that first pulled out her phone to film on YouTube and said, good job. Thank you so much for starting YouTube. Because you chose to get out of the fear and to film this YouTube video, we are now quitting our job. The job that we hated, the job that we were barely making any money from, and starting our dream business, starting our dream life. So jump to that future reality, do a bit of quantum physics. What would that reality feel like? What would you be doing in the future because you started YouTube today? Thank you so much, Angie. Okay, ladies. Oh, getting a phone call. I saw this. I was watching this guy live stream, and on his live stream, he was answering his phone. He literally went like this. He was like, 1 second, guys. Hello? Yeah, I'm live streaming right now. When I saw that, this is for my business owner and content creator girlies, especially. When I saw that, I was like, he just freed up so much energy in me. I don't have to be super professional on the live stream. This is my community. This is my baby. Why am I making it like a job where I have a boss and I have to be this perfect employee? No, I can do whatever I want. And so if you feel that you are still performing in any area of your business or your content creation, I encourage you to find people who are so fluid in the way that they move throughout their business. Let your mirror neurons go to work, watch them, and give yourself that freedom too. Because when I saw him answer his phone, I was like, this is so funny. Why am I making it such a big deal? I can do anything except answer the door. That's not something that I'm going to do. We love you. Thank you, Sandra. I love you ladies so much. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss you girls. So I'm getting ready for the Greece retreat. Literally 1 week from now, I will be in Mykonos, Greece with the Glow Girls hosting our last retreat of the year. So I'm really excited and I'm gonna miss you ladies so much. I will be gone for about 2 weeks, maybe two to 3 weeks. Then I will be back on YouTube. But I have a vlog coming out for you in about a week and a half. So it won't be too long until I see you. Thank you so much again, ladies, for your beautiful questions and your energy in today's video. I cannot wait to see you in the next live stream. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye, ladies.